Hello, farmers, and welcome to the harvest season. My name is Al,
I'm Kevin. That's my name.
and we're here today to talk about farming games.
Whoa! When are we going to talk
Woo.
about actual farming, Al? When's
Actual
that
farming?
episode? Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. Maybe sometime. We'll see. Maybe it'll follow on from whenever we do the actual farming simulator episode. It's like
real
slowly
farming
getting more and
simulator.
more towards real life.
There you go. You guys still haven't done that, have you? Farming Simulator.
No,
The actual
no.
farming game.
I own a copy of the game because I think it was it an Epic free game at one point, but I've not played it yet.
How are we going to get the John Deere sponsor if you don't play Farming Simulator?
I'm not really sure they'd get too much out of that though.
Hey.
Listen to a game about farming simulators. You're obviously the person who wants to buy a tractor.
Hey, you don't know. It's not just tractors, it's a lifestyle, Al.
I have actually ridden a John Deere tractor, multiple John Deere tractors.
I mean, I live in the American South, so, I see them.
Seeing them is not the same as riding one.
Yeah, true that.
Have you driven one?
No, I have not driven one. I'll give you that.
I've one-upped you on the
Yep.
rural lifestyle.
See, I've done it. We're talking about real farming. We're getting there.
Oh, I didn't use it for farming. I used it for grass cutting.
Oh, see, we have tractor style lawnmowers all the time. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, but was it John Deere?
Oh, I can't tell you that. No.
See.
Yeah, you got me there.
Anyway, welcome to Kevin. Thank you for joining us again, Kevin, for this episode.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sure people regret why I'm here, though.
Not at all hastily thrown together at the last minute, this episode. So, this episode, we're going to talk about Animal Crossing, shock horror, but we're going to talk about basically summarizing, not quite the last year, but basically it's nearly been a year. And we've got word on what will probably be the last update in Animal Crossing New Horizons' first year. So we thought we would summarize all that and talk about how it's gone and stuff.
Me talking about Animal Crossing, unprecedented.
Imagine that. Imagine that. I might get you on an episode that isn't an Animal Crossing episode one day.
Oh, you will. I know which one too. First of all, I mean, the last one I was on was not Animal Crossing. It was Dragon Quest.
The last one?
Dragon Quest Builders.
Oh, of course. So it was. There we go then.
We got to follow up.
Don't make me feel bad about something I haven't done wrong.
And then I got another episode I'm going to force you to make me be on, which I'll get to in a little bit. But anyways, let's go. What have you been up to, Al?
No, not yet.
No?
First of all, we're going to talk about some feedback.
Oh.
Then we're going to talk about what we've been playing. And
so
then
what you've been
news
doing is running away from this feedback.
So, first of all, I would like to apologize that I have now been cancelled. It finally happened. We have got a 5-star review on the podcast, which I like to talk about. And it turns out that me talking about dogs in Blocky Farm the way I did in the last episode has led to me being cancelled. It turns out I am a monster, and I'm very sorry for my words.
I'm going to read the direct quote here. It's not long. I am listening to the episode about Blocky Farm. I have been lulled by Al's accent into thinking I would like him, haven't we all? But today, hearing about his feelings regarding game animals, I discovered he is a monster. Crushed. This is for the 5-star review, as a reminder. So, I find amusing is that, this guy's crushed by Al's feelings, but the username is Monkey Toe. I thought it said Monkey Foe. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, Al, you're canceled. I'm host now.
Thank you, Monkey Toe 64, for your 5-star review. If you too would like a mention on the podcast, you only have to leave us a review.
Or you can cancel Al as well. Find your own reasons to.
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, so Kevin, what have you been playing?
All right, let's get to it. I've actually have a few things I've tried out in the past week or two.
All
So
right.
I'm excited about this. First off, Animal Crossing. Hey, I've heard that game mentioned before. So I'll talk about that in a bit. I play Animal Crossing daily. I've been Breath of the Wild actually. I've been trying to quote unquote finish that.
Okay.
I
What is
like
finished
do
for you?
all. Well, that's the thing, right? I'm trying to do all the shrines. I'm doing the DLC.
Right.
I've already done the 4 beasts or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never actually hit credits on that game, so I am trying
Right.
to do that.
So
It's
all
fun.
the shines, defeat Ganon,
DLC.
Trial of the Sword,
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. It's tough though. I've
and
tried it. It's tough.
the other
I'm not doing
post Ganon
Koroks.
battle.
I'm not doing Koroks.
No Koroks.
That's for the
Only
crazy
crazy people do that.
Yes. As much as I love Koroks. But yeah, that's Breath of the Wild. Everyone knows it. It's a good game. So Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild. The one game that I've been playing pretty much since Christmas. 'Cause I got it for Christmas. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Which I, without speaking to Al, without discussing this, and promising right now is a future episode of this podcast. Because, oh man, I love that game so much. Al, I assume you're familiar with it. You're well versed in the farming.
I have not
world.
played it yet, but yes, I have looked at it, and it's on my list of games to eventually play.
Yeah, so it's a really good game, but also is a very tough game to get into, if you will. It's not very beginner friendly. It's a little bumpy at first. But if you can stick with it, I think it's a great game. One of my, I think, all-time favorite farming games, which is not an extensive list, but it's fantastic. I'd been looking forward to it, just based on like the style alone, but it's really, really good. Yeah, for people who don't know, it's a rice farming simulator. And that's all you do. There's platforming and monster fighting, but the farming aspect's all rice, and it's pretty good.
Is it? Obviously, we don't want to get too much into it and lose everything from our future podcast episode. But is it just, are there different kinds of rice that you can grow in different ways, or is it literally just the one crop that works the same way?
It is just the one crop.
Interesting.
You can do a few things to like, well, you can, towards the end there's some stuff you can do to change your final product, but it's the same process. But in exchange for that, it's like the most detailed process I've ever seen in a farming simulator game. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
It's on my list. I'll play it eventually.
All right, and then you'll call me because I want to talk about that game. I love it very much. So let's see, Sakuna, Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing. I finally got. I'm cool now. I played the Hades. It's the good game. I don't have much. I just literally tried it out last night. It's fun. It's good. I don't have anything to add to this that people haven't said 1,000 times over. And then lastly, one last game that I also just tried out recently. Have you heard of a game called Nexomon, Al?
Yes, I have. That's the creature capture and fighting game.
Yes. So I've played it. It's so in this genre of creature capture, I feel like there aren't actually many direct quote unquote competitors to Pokemon. Like in terms of gameplay. This one is a very Pokemon game. You can tell it's clear that there's lots of references and jokes and poking fun towards Pokemon and so on. From the first day I enjoyed it. I've only played a little bit, so I don't have too much to say, but the art style is a little generic, but it's fun. I don't know, I enjoy it. It's Pokemon. They've clearly played Pokemon, so they made some tweaks and improvements where they thought the formula was needed, and I appreciate it. And the writing's good. Something Pokemon hasn't had.
Ouch. Yeah, I've got it on. That's another game that's on my list to eventually play. But yeah, I think it certainly does seem like the most direct competitor to Pokemon. There was also Temtem as well, which is a kind of similar type thing. But yeah, I think you're right. There's very, very few that are like actually good games.
Well, not good, but just a lot of them are too different? Because I've played other
No, I do
characters.
mean good, because there are hundreds of like almost direct clones, but they're absolutely terrible games.
Oh, you're talking about those, the ones when you talk about the yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, no, Nexomon's good. I hope it does well. I think that's something Pokemon desperately needs, competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it would actually change things, because, like, people will still buy Pokemon,
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Much of what they like about Pokemon is the nostalgia.
Yeah, no Pokemon clone will ever have a Pikachu. I mean,
well, they will. They just then get taken down and taken to court.
Yeah.
Anyway, good. I'm glad you've enjoyed that. Yeah, it's definitely on my list.
It's good.
My list.
All right, what about you?
Too many games. I have mostly just been playing Spiritfarer, for reasons that might become obvious in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, what could that mean?
Shh, don't know what you're talking about. What? I said nothing. So I've mostly been playing that, and I think I'm getting close to the end of that. I've got maybe, I think I'm probably like 60 or 70% of the way through the main story for that. It's good game.
How many times have you cried?
Only about 3 times so
Okay.
far. Yeah, it's.
I haven't played it. It's on my list, but that's one of the common things that I hear. Oh, I played a bunch. I played Spiritfarer today. I only cried like 2 times today.
They definitely try for the emotional manipulation.
I mean, the premise is kind of, you're faring is that the verb? I don't know. You're ferrying spirits, right? You're in a boat.
Yeah. It's a good game, but yeah, I'll talk about that more in the future. Maybe we'll see.
What?
I've also been doing my fitness boxing too every day, which is good fun.
Good on you.
So I think that's about it, really. Spiritfarer is one of those games where once I've kind of got into it, it's hard to play anything else, because it's like if I'm playing something else, I'm like, actually, I want to be playing Spiritfarer. So.
Oh, that's good. Anyway. That's a good review.
Yeah, it is good. It is good.
Hopefully, you'll find some other platform where you can discuss this game with farming-like elements.
Imagine
maybe
that.
One day. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. We will see. We will see. I'm sure all will be revealed soon. So that's what we've been playing. Shall we talk about some news?
Yes, boy. Let's talk about news. Let's talk about game stonks. You want to talk about news?
Let's not talk about that.
I'll tell you about how I farm money.
Farming game podcast, not a money podcast.
We're here farming money. You stonks.
Farming money.
Let me tell you about Daisy May and Animal Crossing.
I'm sure we covered that plenty in the previous Animal Crossing episodes.
Yeah, we totally did.
So first up, we have a massive information dump for Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. We're getting pretty close to that game's release. We are less than 2 months from that now. And there's a lot of things. So we've got some more information on the customization, the character customization. There are 5 skin tones, which, I don't know, seems a wee bit low, but...
It is. So, going back to Nexomon real quick, that's one of the things that gets me. Skin tones.
Yeah.
You either nail it or you don't,
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a reasonable, like, I think that some games tend to do it, they do like white and then they do like Mediterranean, and that's as far as they go. This one does at least have some decent skin tone range.
Yes.
But yeah, it still doesn't go very far, and also there's not a huge amount of gradation in it. As
someone, I'm Hispanic, so I'm in that range of, I'm darker skinned but not super dark, if you will. Or even for like Hispanic, there are darker skinned Hispanic folk. So I'm always very picky about it, because like, that's close but not quite right.
Yeah. I don't think we're expecting 200 different ones,
No.
but there's a big difference between
You could do
5 and say 10.
10? Yeah, you could do 10.
You know? But anyway, at least it's pretty standard now. At least we don't have to fight for skin tone customization.
I
It's
guess
not
so. Yeah.
which shade of white would you like? Anyway, more information on the different hairstyles and eye colors and hair colors. There does seem to be quite a decent amount of different hair colors, although a lot of them seem to be in later on. You can't get them from the start. You have to pay for them in the beauty salon.
Well, I mean, I guess. Hold on, I'm trying to see which. I don't know what options they have.
Yeah, so the only options I've seen for hair color are they're all ones in the beauty salon, and they cost 400 Gs each. And I'm seeing caramel brown, silver, chocolate brown, pink gold. So they do seem to have quite a lot of different ones. That list is obviously much longer than what we can see on that. But I've no idea how many of them are available at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just going back to the skin tone. I guess the question, more than the color, because colors are pretty easy to justify or whatever. What are the styles? Yeah. Can you have dreadlocks? That's my question. Probably not.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Probably not.
We don't have a massive list of it yet.
If we're at 5 skin tones, I bet not. But anyways, I digress.
I can currently see the only screenshot I've seen of hairstyles are long hair 3, long hair 4, long hair 5, long hair 6.
Even putting aside ethnic stuff, as someone with long hair, I'm very particular about my hair and my hair length, hairstyle. It kills me when I can't find the right long hair.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
It does look like there will be maybe it's possible. So I'm seeing a lot of these original character. I think these are the character customization from the start rather than later on. Mm-hmm. And there's quite a few different colored hair. So one of them is sapphire blue. We've got fresh green, carmine red, diamond white. So I suspect that what happens is you get to choose any of the colors and styles at the beginning, and then the cost is to change it. So it's not like you unlock different styles later on. Mm-hmm. It's just that if you change your mind, then you have to pay for it.
Sure.
Which sounds like the best way to go for me. Give you all of the options at the beginning, but then charge you to change later on. Because that allows for the most diversity without putting that diversity behind a paywall.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And obviously, when I say paywall, it's obviously in-game currency. There's no not real currency. There are no mini purchases, micro purchases in Story of Seasons as of yet. Yeah, so I don't know. It's quite cool. I like all of the different character customization. I'm good with that. But it does seem a little bit ridiculous that there's 5 skin colors and about 50 hair colors.
You say ridiculous as if that weren't the norm.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's normal to have few of each. It's the fact that there are just so many of these hair colors, and they've clearly got a lot, right? Because they're got ridiculous names.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll find out. I look forward to that. So next, we got information in that you start the game in a tent, like in Animal Crossing, and then you have to build yourself a house rather than starting in a rundown house. You
don't inherit your uncle's farm? You don't get their shack?
Well.
You might. Yeah. I tell you, I say that, but no, you probably do.
Yeah, I think you are going to a town where your grandfather, or is it great grandfather, or it's some relative founded, but it's not as kind of, here is a farm that they used to use.
Okay.
It's more here's some land that we want to expand onto, I think is the deal.
Yeah.
So not quite that, but We also have some information on some of the marriage candidates. I won't say too much about that because I know some people don't like to hear too much about that before playing the game, but there will be a link in the show notes. You can go and meet some of the marriage candidates. Don't think there's much more to say about that. One small thing is that they've given us some more information about the ponds that are around the place. So you might remember there are ponds lying around the farm, and you need to you get a bucket to pull the water out of them, and sometimes you will find treasure chests in them.
That's cool. I'm watching the trailer right now. That's nifty. You don't see that often. You get to ponds around. So let's see. That's cool. Treasure. What else we got?
So they might be things for a museum, I believe, is the idea.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay. I guess so. I prefer mining and digging things up, but
I mean, it doesn't mean that they won't be there. I think it's quite a cool change to have.
It is, yeah. No, it's nifty.
And then I don't think we know what happens after you empty it out. Like, does the hole just stay there forever? Can you build over it?
Well, I see the person running around with a bucket. I would like to think you could empty it somewhere else.
Oh, so take the water from the thing and put it somewhere else.
That's what I saw. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking, can you move this pond around or maybe do a farming activity with it? I don't know.
We'll find out. The other thing that we got information about is that there's going to be a DLC for this game, released worldwide, unlike the Trio of Towns DLC that partially was only released in Japan.
Region locking.
I know, it's dreadful. It will come in 5 parts, so there'll be 5 drops for the DLC.
That's substantial.
It is. It's pretty decent as well. So the first part is there's going to be a mystery scenario. So it's like a whole extra mini game in it around solving a mystery, and also animal costumes.
Let me see these costumes. I mean, you're gonna farm, right? Let's see here. Oh, that's
as in costumes as in human costumes that make you look like an animal.
Yeah, I get
not costumes for animals. just making sure.
Let's see.
Because it wouldn't be a Story of Seasons game if they didn't have animal costumes.
Can you look as cute as the animals do? Probably not. Because those cows are really cute.
I think I'm gonna say yes, but
I'm looking at one of these costumes. It looks almost quote unquote realistic, kind of like what you'd expect at an amusement park.
Yeah, that doesn't make it not cute.
I guess. Look, I just rather play as the cow, man.
I mean, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. Where's that Story of Seasons game?
I'm still waiting for the one where you can break up marriages. The second part of the DLC will bring a new area to the game and include 4 characters from Harvest Moon: A New Beginning.
Okay. All right. Here, there's the fun time Story Seasons Harvest Moon fun times. Trying to figure out this game. Which one is New Beginning?
So that was the last Harvest Moon before it stopped being Bokumono games.
Okay.
So it was on the 3DS, but it was before Story of Seasons.
Okay.
Now, of course, the interesting thing is because of the trademark issue, they don't actually say Harvest Moon: A New Beginning. They say a previous game on the 3DS.
Oh, that's so awkward.
I know, isn't it? Isn't it right? Because the other 2 games they mention by name.
Oh, that's
it's so weird.
Every Story of Seasons conversation just dissolves to how awful this whole naming thing is.
I know. And the problem is that there's no way out of this now, because even if the name is transferred back, which is not going to happen, please people stop asking for that. But even if that happens, it's not going to solve the problem, because there's been many Harvest Moon games that aren't Harvest Moon, and there are Sword of Seasons games. You think they're going to go back to like rename everything Harvest Moon and then rename all the Harvest Moon games something else? It's not going to happen. It will just make it more confusing. There is no way to make this less confusing.
Oh, that's the best. Well, I didn't play that game, so I can't. I'm sorry, Story of Seasons. I can't get hyped for this one. Now, if
I have not played that one either.
Yeah, I'm looking. The story, the style is pretty different, just from brief glances that I saw.
Yeah. Yes, I presume they're going to update all the character models to look like the new style.
That, you know what?
Otherwise, that'd be so weird.
That would turn me around if they just stuck it in with their more realistic style. Yeah, I'd be on board.
Oh, that'd be so weird. They would just be like completely different proportions. Oh,
do it, you cowards!
My word.
Okay.
Interestingly, 2 of the characters will be marriage candidates.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm down for this. They should do this more. Give me Story of Seasons All-Stars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit... we'll come back to that in a minute. So the next one is that they'll be adding another new area and 4 characters from Story of Seasons, 2 of whom will be marriage candidates. And they're also going to add in school uniforms as well. This feels like one of those weird... It's like the Rune Factory swimsuit thing. It's just going to be weird.
Even aside, even putting that aspect of it, I don't get it. This is clearly a cultural thing, because even in Animal Crossing, they have school uniforms you can get. I don't know. I guess people since it's pretty kind of standardized in Japan, from what I understand, it's just something that sticks with them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Trying to be a family-friendly podcast, but it just feels a little bit weird.
I know.
Anyway, the good thing is you don't need to wear it if you don't want to.
You know what? Let's go back to those animal costumes. All of a sudden, they're looking a lot cuter.
Yeah. And the next one is there's going to be an event with the Earth sprites added in, and some Yakuta and kimono costumes.
That's a cultural thing too.
That is.
They're pretty styling.
It is a cultural thing, but not a weird one.
Nope. That's probably the best looking out of all this. These costumes.
Yeah.
Samurai farmer.
Finally, the 5th part will be another new area with 4 characters from, you guessed it, Story of Seasons Trio of Towns. 2 of whom will be marriage candidates.
That's cool. I made the joke earlier, but we are getting close to Story of Seasons All-Stars.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that, because I think I like this, but I'm also disappointed in that I feel like them putting in 4 from each, only 2 of whom are marriage candidates, is just going to make most people annoyed that they didn't include all of them.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the characters that they are, I won't go over that just now because it's basically they've shown silhouettes of them, so you can piece pieces together, but I won't spoil it just now who they are.
Okay.
For those who haven't seen that. But when you look at them, I look at them and go, oh, they aren't the ones I would want. you know, it's like the people kind of gravitate to certain characters in the games, and it just, when they're picking and choosing and adding them to future games, it just feels a bit weird.
Yeah, I get you. And so I've missed out on a lot of, well, I'll say almost all these games, but they didn't include my picks. Where's my Wonderful Life cast? Where are those, you cowards? Bring back Celica.
I wonder whether this is testing the ground for a bigger thing in the future.
Oh, dude.
See whether people like it or not.
Dude, if they brought back Celica from A Wonderful Life, I'd be in.
So the DLC also includes some other costumes that you get at at game launch, I think. And that's pretty much it. They're going to release it separately as well as in a bundle on the eShop. So I believe you can save something like 10 quid roughly if you buy them together. And then on top of that, there's a 10% discount if you pre-order it. So if you're planning to get the game and the DLC, or you're planning to get the game digitally and get the DLC, and you are happy and have the money beforehand, I'd highly recommend doing that, because that is going to be a pretty big discount on everything if you're getting it all.
Yeah, I wonder what the timeline is for the DLC. I would guess maybe a year for all of it?
No, so it is detailed in one of the links that we have in the show notes, but basically it is April. This is for the US and EU. Japan gets it slightly different timings, and other places haven't got that information. The first part is April, and then it's May, June, July, and August, and that'll be it. So it's just till August.
Okay. That's pretty quick then. Dang.
It's
impressive.
Yeah. Presumably they've got most of it ready. It's just about they wanted more money.
Yeah. That works too.
Yeah. I think that's about it for the DLC. And for Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town.
I might get this one. Like I said, I haven't played Story of Seasons in forever, but I'm seeing a lot of hype for this one. I might get it.
Yeah. I would say, and I'm sure I've said this on previous episodes, I think if you've never played one or if it's been a while, this feels like the game to pick up.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's going to be, it looks really nice. And it's going to have all of the kind of modern quality of life improvements that previous games don't have. It looks like a really good game. I really like it. Obviously, you won't get some of the DLC. You just won't really care about some of the DLC if you've not played previous games. But that's okay. You don't need to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Coming out in March. Or actually, it's February in Japan. The end of February in Japan, I believe. And then the end of March for
that's
everywhere else.
How time zones work, right?
Yeah. Next, we have a little bit of information about Coral Island Kickstarter. So first of all, it will be launching on the 1st of February, which I say is
that's
going
close.
to be because that's in the future for us currently, but it will be in the past if you're listening to this podcast. It's already live.
I'm playing it right now. No, I'm not.
And secondly, they've confirmed that there will be a stretch goal to get the game on Switch. So I expect you all to be spending lots of money on this so I can get this game on Switch, please, and thank you.
Yeah, that's... if it's not on Switch, I might not be playing it, so I'm sure you're all invested in me playing Coral Island, so let's give them money.
I will play it if it's not on Switch, but I won't play it as much. I will play it enough to talk about it on the podcast, and then I'll probably stop, because I just don't enjoy playing games on not Switch.
Yeah.
Well, no, games are fine on the PlayStation, but not this type of game. This type of game has to be on the Switch, because it has to be like I'm sitting around for 15 minutes, let me play some more of it. Yes. I'm laying in bed, let me play some more of it,
Yeah, farming games are very well suited to portability.
Yeah, definitely. Next, we have some information on the upcoming Ooblets Wildlands update.
I'm looking Ooblets. I still have never played that. Is it still only Epic Game Store?
It is currently only Epic Game Store. I believe it will be Epic... it's also on Xbox One, but yeah. I think it's probably will be exclusive until they are out of early access, at least. Which will probably... I don't think we have any information about that, but I suspect it won't be till next year. But
wait,
we'll see.
So that... Okay, so it's an update. I thought I read it was DLC, but okay, I was about to say, how can you have DLC if you're still in early access?
No, it's not DLC. It's an update. So it will be their third update since starting the early access. I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. I don't know.
I'm not going to say too much about it. the link will be in the show notes if you want to go read on it. But we don't have any concrete information about when it's coming out.
It's a nice sketch.
They have a sketch and lots of words. Anyway, next we have Ova Magica. So there's a few bits of information for this. Firstly, it is confirmed that this game will be coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, as well as PC, which it was already confirmed for. And the Kickstarter is now live, and it's already funded. So.
Oh wow! Well, good job.
Success. Well done, us.
Yeah.
It got. I think it hit funding in like 8 hours or something like that. It was quite impressive.
Holy mackerel!
They've also hit multiple stretch goals already.
Do you know what they are? Are there any cool ones?
Yeah, so some of the stretch goals are things that you might expect to be in the game by default. So that is, they're going to add in marriage, character customization. Those are the two that I would expect to be in a game. I've said these things before. I do not like when character customization is a stretch goal. Character customization should be in your game. If you're playing in a role-playing type game like this, I'm totally fine with some games not having character customization because they're a story game and you're playing as a specific person. Fine. This is not that.
If you're playing a role-playing as a game, very specific
customization.
Generic white protagonist.
White dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Playing as a very specific white guy.
Yeah. So I don't like this. I've said this before. I don't like putting character customization behind a financial incentive. If you're not going to do it, don't make a game.
Well,
anyway,
it'd probably be better if they just didn't say it was a stretch goal.
Yeah, that's my point. I just like it should be in the game by default. I don't think that that's something that should be added on as a if we get enough money. Right?
Yeah.
Like bundle that into your initial cost. If you need a certain amount to do that, put that as part of your goal. Don't add it as a stretch goal.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking over the trailer because I couldn't remember this title. So yeah, you know that's not cool. But man, this for people who don't know, this game has little critters who are little orbs,
Yeah.
And they're adorable though.
Yeah, so it's a farming creature collection game.
Yeah,
and the creatures are all blobs.
They are I know I should be mad at them for putting it behind a paywall, or a stretch goal, but these little orbs are really cute.
I don't think I'm going to hold any grudges against them. I've said my piece, and the stretch goal has been hit, so it will be happening.
Oh well, there we go.
That's fine.
I guess.
I just don't think people should do that.
No.
Anyway, so yeah, marriage, customer characterization. They're adding in a mode in the game to be able to play with your blobs. Presumably that's some sort of thing like Pokemon for example. Yeah. There'll be an additional world for blobs. Presume that just means a new area in the game.
Okay.
And there will be a museum. That's the other one that I feel like just kind of like a default thing in these games. So I'm not overly excited about that. But
I just want to play with these blobs, man. I want to ride one.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a stretch goal? Let me ride one.
It might be. They've only got one currently. They've only got one stretch goal that currently hasn't been hit. So but there are others that they haven't announced what they will be.
Okay.
So we'll see. Maybe there will be a way to ride them in the future. The cool thing about the blobs is that they also help you with your farming and stuff, which is fun.
Yeah. All right. So that's Ova Magica. It's coming.
I'm looking forward to it.
I might try it. That looks cool.
Next, we have Castaway Paradise, which is an existing game that's being ported to Switch. So it's a farming game on an island. Yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount to say. It looks fun. It doesn't look particularly special, though. It's kind of got a blocky art style.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Are there actually animal people? I'm seeing animal characters. It's like a cooking cow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically Animal Crossing.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I see that now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know whether it's
It's from 2014.
real time.
Holy moly, that's old.
It is. It's also interesting. I'm a bit confused about this because the YouTube trailer is by Roca Play, who are the people who do Stranded Sails, but they don't make this game, as far as I know. So I'm really confused.
I feel like there's something here, man. We got a 6-year-old game coming to Switch by people.
It's by Stolen Couch Games, and as far as I can see, they are not related to Roca Play in any way. And I don't understand why Roca Play are the ones doing this. I'm very confused.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
I don't either.
Fun. I'll probably play it. But I'm confused.
I'm confused.
So confused.
Oh.
and I'm trying to find I've not found the Stolen Couch Games having actually announced anything about it. It's only the only information about this is the Roca Play. Oh, they've retweeted it. Stolen Couch Games on Twitter have retweeted the Roca Play tweet announcing the port.
I'm very confused.
So maybe Roca Play are porting it for them, I guess, could be the answer.
I would guess so.
It just seems so weird because until recently, Stolen Couch Games had said nothing about it. It was only Roca Play that did it.
I don't know. Next, yeah. What do we got next?
It looks fun. I'll probably play it. But next, we have, as I close all those tabs, our final one is a new game that's been announced called Lone Farm. It's a farming game on an island.
As you describe in the notes here so gracefully, quote, it's a game, end quote.
So I'll just read what it says on Steam. Take control of a farm on a small island in the middle of the South Pacific. Tend to your crops, feed your stock, prepare your meals, decorate your cabin, or take a peaceful ride on your vintage van wagon through the seaside highway to explore the natural paradise surrounding your farm.
You should have read that first and made viewers guess. Are we talking about Castaway Paradise or Lone Farm?
Yeah.
You decide.
Or Animal Crossing.
Or Animal Oh, God.
Or Summer in Mara. Or... Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. It's an interesting... how would you describe the art style in this? It's kind of simple models, but nice looking.
They are very clean. I get the thing that comes to mind is like Overcooked.
Yeah.
A little less cartoony because that's like I see a cow and it's like proportionate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's in first. It looks like in first person. Is that correct?
It does look like it's in first person.
That's
yes. Although I've seen a few screenshots. You don't see that in
farming games.
Yeah, I've seen a few screenshots of you can actually see a person, and I don't know whether that's someone else or whether you can. There are some points where you can go out of first person view. I don't know. But yeah, it is a first person game. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I've played that are first person.
I don't.
There was one called Angry Farm that I played, but that was a dreadful game. Very buggy. Not even worth mentioning.
It's angry for reasons you didn't expect.
Yeah, it's not about the game. It's about how it makes you feel. So it's coming out in August, and I believe it is just announced for PC. So there we go.
Okay, that's I think the news.
That is the news.
Hard-hitting reporting that we do here. Things like Castaway Paradise and Lone Farm. Let's talk about Animal Crossing.
Right. You're right there, Kevin. Yes. So we thought what we could do is talk about the last year. Let's just pretend it's been a year of Animal Crossing. Talk about the updates, what each brought to it. I would say I only really want to talk about like important stuff. Let's not detail the fact that there were 10 different new DIYs in this one. There were 5 more clothes. There were these bug fixes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about big things.
List of all the items added to the Able Sisters when. Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be dreadful. And also all the update that had all the bug appearances changed.
Oh, I forgot they nerfed bug rates. I forgot
Peacock
about that.
butterfly was reduced from 30% to 5%. Emperor butterfly down from 10% to 5%.
They only did that once,
Great purple
right?
emperor butterfly down from 10%.
That's so... Oh, my gosh. Hey, you guys. You remember they updated they nerfed the bank interest?
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
But like they have to or something like that.
Oh, gosh. I thought...
It's such a weird thing to change.
That must
it's
have
like,
been...
You know, the problem with the economy is not the bank interest.
No, oh gosh.
Why did they think that would fix anything?
And so looking back now, that was just clearly a response to the explosion that nobody anticipated because of, quarantine. I think stuff like that, because the rest we didn't get anything else like that later on once things simmered down.
I mean, it might just be like they just as you get a whole bunch of people playing it, you see what works and what doesn't, and they wanted to change some spawn rates. Like, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, let's go on to the other updates, because I'm upset now.
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about small stuff like that. So, yeah. Are we going to count the Bunny Day update as an update, or are we counting it as the base game because nobody could play the game without that update?
Well, I mean, let's talk about it, or at least the event. So,
all right.
So
yeah, sure.
So I'm trying to remember here. Didn't they add? Okay, so yeah, so that was. What did they have? They added Bunny Day. And that's when we got eggs. Bunny Day. Eggs galore. Eggs
all
everywhere.
The eggs.
In fact, they had to update that, if I recall, because it was too much. People complained.
I mean, people complained, but they complain about everything. They complain when there's not enough.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. During fall, we had the opposite, where everyone was complaining there wasn't enough DIYs and. Well, anyways.
So that was the main thing with this. It was Bunny Day with all the eggs and adding in Zipper as well.
Yeah, what it is important though, for me at least, is because I thought it was going to be setting the tone for future updates. It was, first of all, it was a DIY centric holiday, which DIYs were new to the series, so and they were really doubling down by making the holiday focused on DIYs and giving you like a 2-week period to prepare for it. Something that they've done that before. So I was anticipating the other holidays to be more or less the same. A few weeks of prepping, and then you get a DIY centric thing. Let's see here, but that's not necessarily the case, because the next one, Earth Day update, was like a quote unquote lesser holiday. And
but it was a huge update though.
Yeah, we got leaf.
So this brought to us the wonderful leaf, and therefore bushes as well.
Yeah,
this was the first time you could add bushes.
Yeah.
And the other good thing about leaf being added in was you could buy another type of flower that wasn't native to your island.
Yeah.
So that was all nice.
Yeah, we at the same time we got, was it red? We got red in the art gallery.
Yep, we got red. Yep. Up to this point, the only update to the museum.
Yeah. This feels like here's the leftovers update, the stuff we didn't quite get to. We were doing, but didn't hit release date. Because they did. Let's see here. Got Nature Day. I'm trying to remember we got hedges for that. I think.
So we had there was the quest.
Yes.
Where you went to the island and you had to get through the maze.
May Day. That was May Day. That was.
Oh, that was a May Day one.
Yes, that was May Day. That was a Rover. Yeah.
Nature Day, I think, was just a bunch of extra Nook Miles stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. You know what? I'm surprised they didn't do that later on. They didn't have, I'm surprised they didn't do it. They didn't have holiday DIY missions.
Yeah.
You'd think you'd get some pumpkin stuff for Halloween or ornament stuff for, the holidays. They didn't do any of that. Huh. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that there will be more stuff like that in year 2. because nothing's to say that they wouldn't add to the existing holidays.
Yeah, I get. Well, yeah. Let's talk about that towards the end because that's
Yep,
that's
cool.
something to discuss.
So that was May Day. There was also then International Museum Day, which had the stamp rally,
which was cute. I liked
it.
Yeah.
It was fine. I did it once. Didn't do it again.
Yeah. The wedding update was also in that the wedding thing.
It was.
Oh, that was one of my favorite events, I think. It was, you brought back recent Cyrus, which is exciting to old fans, and it was cute to take little photo shoots, and it was an event where you would unlock more stuff the more you did it, unlike a lot of these other events.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Again, this is looking at this is all the stuff from this update is very different from everything else they did in the year, which I might chalk up to quarantine. I don't know.
I'm not sure it's hugely different. So it added a couple of new features with new characters, and it added a bunch of holidays. I guess May Day was very different.
Well, yeah.
But I'm not sure everything. I mean, I feel like every holiday is quite different in and of itself. Well, I guess maybe some of them are more generic.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's go through them and see then, yeah?
Okay, cool.
All right, let's do it. Well, first, though, before the other holidays, we got the summer update.
Yeah. This one added in diving.
Pascal and
big feature.
Gulliver. Yeah, this was the diving update, basically. All associated stuff, which was needed. I'm surprised they didn't have that at the beginning. But we got it. It wasn't too long after. And it added much needed variety, I think, up to that point. Looking through this, we had a lot. Because I guess early on, the rotation of visitors and stuff like that was pretty cyclical. But at this point, we had Leaf, we had Red, Gulliver. A lot more to do day to day.
Then there's the Summer Update 2, Part 2. They were running out of ideas for names for updates by this point. That added the fireworks show, which I presume is based off the 4th of July. That's why that one exists, I presume.
It's in August, if I recall.
Was it?
Yes, it's not. No, it's Japanese thing.
No, it's released on the 30th of July.
Yeah. The fireworks are always in
July.
August.
Interesting.
I don't remember what. I know it's related to some Japanese holiday or celebration that involves fireworks.
Now, interestingly, I'm just looking through some information. In one of the games, the original Animal Crossing in the US and PAL, which I believe was the second Animal Crossing in Japan. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think it might have been an updated version of the N64 one, but regardless, yes, the one on the GameCube called Animal Crossing here in the US.
Fireworks were on the 4th of July in that game.
Were they? I don't remember that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think they did, back in those days, they focused more on localizing holidays, I think. I think there were a lot more differences in holidays between the Western and Japanese versions of the game.
Yeah. That one also added the dream visits, so added Luna back in.
Yeah, Luna. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reasonably small one. I mean, that was a decent feature, but other than that, it was a reasonably small update, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like they're getting smaller over time.
Yes.
As we go through them.
Which, looking through the list, they are, which I think, again, is, I'm chalking up most of this to quarantine and, hampered their work schedule. I think they had to focus on the bare essentials. Making sure we had a Halloween, making sure we had a Turkey Day, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, so the last thing that one added in was save backup, although at this point you could only restore it if you lost or broke your Switch. Remember that fun?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they had the functionality to be able to do it, but they would only let you do it. You'd have to tell them you lost or broke your Switch.
There was no time.
Such a weird restriction. The next one was the fall update, which added in Halloween so therefore Jack as well.
Yes.
And of course the wonderful pumpkin farming.
Yes. So this was a fun update. I guess Halloween was. I'm trying to remember how Halloween worked.
So you had you could buy the candy.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you had to get.
And then you had to give it to your villagers, and they give you lollipops.
Yes, and you give the lollipops to Jack.
To Jack,
Yeah.
and he would give you other stuff.
Yes, and you could dress up with
So
the
complicated.
various costumes and scaring. It's actually not as I had fun, but comparing to New Leaf, the predecessor, it was actually a simplified version of New Leaf's Halloween.
Right.
Because in New Leaf you had to every villager had their own fears or whatever, so you had to dress up as a specific costume to scare them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's rushing to get some Halloween out, and maybe that'll come later.
Maybe.
Who knows? Or maybe they'll just.
I feel like
maybe that's just part of the simplifying of villagers.
I feel like it's part of the simplifying. I will. So one thing, I guess it was part of Bunny Day too, that a lot of the holiday stuff, the items are locked on the holiday. Like a lot of the furniture you get from Jack.
Yes.
Which kind of stinks because I wanted that stuff to decorate beforehand, but.
Yeah. Oh, I think this one also was the first one that gave you the extra section in Nook's Cranny for buying the
thing in the corner in the store. The seasonal items,
Halloween-related stuff. Seasonal, that's the word. Yeah, so
that was a nice touch.
That was new in this update, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. That was a nice touch because you could just buy the stuff you wanted instead of having to grind out DIYs or whatever.
Yeah.
I recall that the villagers would hand out the DIYs, which was a nice touch, I think.
Yeah, I think you did get some of that.
Because a lot of the other updates, it was just randomly encountered DIYs through balloons and all that.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
Obviously, this also included the face painting colors as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. All right.
And then, sorry, were you going to say something else?
No, go ahead.
Okay. And then we had the winter update, which really feels like it was just Turkey Day and Toy Day. It also added in the final bits of save transferring, and you could sit down, and I think that was about it. So there was no big feature in this one.
No.
I feel like every other update up to this point had a big feature.
Yeah, looking back, you're right.
So yeah.
So let's see, Turkey Day. That I liked that holiday. The event you collected a variety of stuff. You go fishing and diving and pumpkins and all that. I like that one a lot. That one was pretty on par with other Turkey Days in the series. Toy Day though. Did you do Toy Day, Al?
No, I think I stopped doing stuff at Halloween. That was kind of I think that might be the last time I played the game was Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Turkey Day was, I think, considerably smaller than the other ones. There wasn't any lead up to it or anything like that. It was just on the day of. And,
just stuff on the day.
Yeah, and you could knock it out pretty easy. But I enjoyed it. Toy Day. So, Toy Day was... So, the thing with Toy Day was that the seasonal items they were giving out in the corner of Nook's Cranny, they were actual toys, like presents. And there was a wide variety of them. They were pretty fun, actually. They were cute. But a lot of the stuff that I think people were looking forward to, a lot of the, the ornaments and lights and things like that, a lot of them were locked behind DIYs that you can only get through balloons, which was kind of irritating. And they had other stuff going on, like the snowmen and whatnot. Oh, that was introduced in the update, snowmen.
Oh yes, snowmen. Yeah, of course.
So
Snowboy was that what they were called?
Yes, Snowboy. Yeah, it's interesting that they call him Snowboy because New Leaf had a family of snow people. Snowboy was one of them. But in this one, we only get Snowboy. Yeah.
Snowboy's all you need.
Apparently. But yeah. And then Toy Day, going back to Toy Day, on the day itself, It was a very minimal fetch quest kind of thing for Jingle. He'd ask you for this thing,
Right.
but it was much less involved than say Turkey Day. Because Turkey Day you had to fish, you had to dive, you had to get some pumpkins, etc. But this one you just had to get I think a few ornaments from trees, and craft some stuff, and then he gave you some gifts to hand out to your villagers, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, not much to it. And then you could give other gifts to your villagers on your own accord. But all you got out of it was 3 DIYs from Jingle, and then just a bunch of the
Right.
toy gifts items in different colors that you couldn't get on your own. But I don't know. It felt weird.
Yeah. The other small thing that update had was the storage upgrade, which I forgot to mention as well. So you could increase your house storage.
Probably the most exciting part of this update.
Which is kind of sad. I also feel like the save transfer would have been a big thing had they released it in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
rounding out the currently released updates is the January update, which includes Festival.
Yep.
And that's it. I think that's literally it.
Yeah, well, as of announced, or that is announced, yes.
Well, it's been released. I'm sure we would have.
Oh, that's true. I
Like, it's
forgot.
been out for 2 days.
Yeah, it has. I got my
we
maracas.
would have heard if there'd been something else, I think.
Yeah. Well, dang. Festival was only a new release thus far, and I actually never played it, so I guess okay. We'll see how it goes.
There's some other seasonal items as well, but
Yeah.
we've not really been discussing them in other updates
No.
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's by far the smallest one,
Yep.
the smallest update, and as exciting as some people find the events, they kind of got used to us. We'd kind of got used to them adding new features every update as well.
Yeah. So this
and yeah.
Yeah, this is going back to what we're talking about. This is I mean, I like I said, I kind of want to chalk it up to quarantine, because like everyone, I assume their work schedule was thrown off the rails, and especially with how insanely successful it was at the beginning, I'm sure they had to prioritize to make sure that the holiday stuff came out.
Yeah, I guess there are two options, right? Either that's the case, and if that is the case, over the next year we'll see some more big updates coming.
Yeah.
Right, that will happen.
Yeah.
The other option is this is just them slowly filtering, just slowly petering out, in which case we'll just see that continue to be much smaller updates. For example, we know there is an update coming in March, and currently all we know about it is the Super Mario anniversary stuff.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean that is all there will be, but it might be.
Yeah. That'd be.
And if it is, that will make it even smaller
than
the January update.
I don't see them doing any sort of event. I mean, yeah, I don't. I could just see them adding it to the shop, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do anything big around that. So the question is whether there will also be something other than the Mario stuff.
Yeah.
Or whether that is literally it. There will be an update that adds in some Mario costumes and Mario items, and that's it. Which would, if it's the case, and it's coming out in March, they've said it's coming out in March. If that happens, and that's all there is, that will feel like, to me, that will feel like quite a big downer for, hey, it's been a year since the game out, have some Mario costumes. Well, I do think the Mario costumes are cool.
Yes.
I'm glad they're coming. I think that's quite cool to add stuff like that. I think they should do more of that. But also, it doesn't feel like an anniversary thing.
I mean, yeah, no, I definitely get what you mean. I don't expect an anniversary thing, which I guess I'm okay with. The bigger question is, like you were mentioning, is this really them petering out, or are they have they been stockpiling? And for year 2, we're actually going to see bigger releases of actual features and things being added, because I don't want to harp on too much about it. It's what I did last episode, but there's still stuff, quote unquote, missing, stuff that had been included in other entries of the series, and it was almost the
it's not.
standard.
It's not even just that. It's also that much of that stuff is hinted at in the code.
That's right.
I don't want to talk too much about that stuff because I don't like talking about. We've tried not to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
On the podcast because I know people might not want to be spoiled about that
Uh-huh.
sort of stuff, but there are some things that have been in previous games that are hinted at in the code.
Let's see.
And there are some other features that we've not had before that are also hinted at in the code.
Yes.
And the question is, are those just experiments that they decided not to do?
Yeah, is it cut?
Or is that actually stuff coming? Or is it something they decided, you know what, let's not do it? I think that's the least likely option. Like, I don't think they would go, oh, this game has been too successful. Let's not add more features that we had already planned to do.
I mean,
that would be odd.
Like, you're not, I agree with you, and at the same time, like, okay, I'm going to point out one of the biggest examples. Brewster is still missing, right? The cafe. And that's been in the code since, last summer? Even earlier? That was I remember that was one of the earlier things always talked about, that there were hints of it in the code. And
I think it may have been the Bunny Day update, actually.
Yeah, and it's still not out almost a year later, right? So
yeah,
I don't know what to make of that, because I feel like if they had it ready, they would have released it. But
yeah, I mean, it's mostly like hints, like some small things that would point towards it. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's half of a feature there.
Yeah, no, I get you.
It could be something that they had put it in some things in case they wanted to implement it later.
Yeah. So,
but it's also possible that it is nearly ready, or they had an issue, or like you say, they didn't want to finish it up because they wanted to make sure that they had all of the events for the whole year, and other things got pushed down the priority list. That is very possible.
So, I mean, like, I don't know. Looking at how this game works, I don't know how much more they could add, I guess. You can add the cafe to the museum. But, like, given how the island, the whole thing is, the premise is the island, you restructure it however you want. I find it might be hard to add more features, like more structures or buildings. You know what I mean?
I don't think so, because nothing's requiring you to build them.
I guess
right?
so.
And just because you decide where things go doesn't mean that you will go, oh, I now can't add this in, right? People will just, if they want it, they'll just restructure their island. People do that all the time.
I guess so.
Right? Like, people do that because they get bored of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's a huge issue. I think the one big thing that they could do is, I find it very odd that we have farming in the game and we have one crop.
Yeah.
So I could see them adding in more. Like, that feels like something they could do reasonably easily, because you just need the assets.
Yeah, but
and then you have a whole bunch of new features there.
It is really weird that they haven't. I thought they would have added it for Turkey Day, because that one's about cooking and whatnot. But they haven't.
Yeah. It is possible they would have wanted to do that and they just couldn't get it done, and so they're now working on getting it for next year's one. Like, this is the thing, we're assuming that the events are finished, right? We're assuming at this point that, one, they're not going to add any more new events in, and two, the events are going to stay as they are. That doesn't necessarily have to happen. They could update the events in the future.
Well, they could. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, that's a different question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they can do lots of things. The question is, do you think they will?
Yeah, I don't think I would be surprised if it happened, but I also don't think I'd be disappointed if it didn't happen.
I honestly don't think they're gonna add more. I don't think they're gonna change the events too much, to be quite frank. I think, aside from the the obvious thing of that's more work, and they probably want to not do more work. There's the fact that the game as a whole, has simplified a lot of things, or removed or reduced features to some degree, just to make it more accessible. and I feel like the way the holidays have worked have been kind of in line with that. So I would be surprised if they changed it, add things to it.
I don't think adding things to the events stops them being accessible or removes any accessibility from it.
Well,
I think it just gives you more options.
Well, how do you
So
change it then?
It's so, for example, if we take the Turkey Day one, you just have an option where you can have a cooking thing, right? So you just have an additional thing that is somehow related to cooking and growing more crops, and you have to, like, there's a cooking competition or something like that, right? Like you can add things without changing existing things.
I guess I don't. Because see, Turkey Day is interesting because I think that's one where it would be the easiest to add because you add more crops or whatever, and there's he asks you for different things, but it also, like how it was presented this year, we would feel awkward to put it in almost. Like I don't know how. Like, or they'd have to, if they put it in, it would almost be redoing the event kind of because it was so small and simple. But I don't know. It's a weird place to be in.
Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll probably get some hints towards what they might be planning in the March update because either that will be very small or it will add in some new stuff and it will give us an idea as to whether they're going to be doing future stuff, I guess. Because I feel like if Festival is the last event that they hadn't put in, that means they are no longer rushing against the clock to get events ready for updates.
Oh, yeah.
So it means they can focus on the features. If there are features that they're wanting to release that they haven't got finished yet, that means they can do that. And if it's mostly just, I suspect most of these features are mostly implemented, they're just now fixing bugs. I would be surprised if we got new features this year and there wasn't one in the March update.
I mean, I don't know.
But I've been wrong before.
I don't know. I do feel that they're going to add, let's say, Brewster. I think we're going to get the cafe at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming in March. I think March is just going to be some items, Mario items, and that's it. All right, let's... What would be an update you'd want to see? What would something you'd want to add? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I want more farming.
Okay.
That's the thing that will get me back into it is more farming.
Okay, so I guess I'm curious to what ends would farming, like what because I have, like right now I still have pumpkin patch or whatever, but I'm not doing any of them. They're essentially decorative at this point. Yeah. So, well, one thing is the decorative thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that certainly not.
Is a good part of it.
Yeah, certainly not.
But also, I think that I'll expand a little bit then. I want them to add in cooking as well. And I think that's what gives the farming its edge, is that you can cook lots of different meals and use them for decoration, and also maybe they can have effects when you eat them. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too much outside of the Animal Crossing world.
There's an eating system, so...
Yeah, but it's very simplistic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect any big effects, but that'd be nice. Cooking would be nice. Probably just DIYs, but it'd still feel nice.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It would just be a DIY, but it would be a different DIY bench. You'd have an oven or something like that.
I'd like that.
That you would go to and cook the...
I'd love that, actually. There's I made a second character, and that character is actually, their house is like a restaurant because there's so many kitchen items and cooking items. So I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
what about you? What would get you back? Obviously, you're still playing it every day, but what would get you really invested in it?
I want, to put it very coarsely, I want something else to quote unquote do. So the problem is a lot of the I feel for the way I'm playing it right now, it's very grindy. I don't know how to put it. Very I spend like half an hour doing my dailies, right? I do Money Rock, I do Nook Miles or whatever. It just, especially now that I'm completing my museum and all that, it's hard. Going back to a lot of the stuff I've talked about previously on the previous episodes, a lot of the activities amount to like DIY stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I guess. Well, actually, there's two things I'll say. One, I think we could use a big catalog update, right? If you give me a wider selection of stuff to do with DIY, then I think that would actually get a lot of people more invested in. You know what I mean? More stuff to make or to change your island to look like.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful. But I guess more specifically what I was thinking of, even just as a side thing, like Animal Crossing games have a long history of mini games, and that's not present in New Horizons at all. Even if it's a totally separate game, I'd like something like that. New, beating the dead horse here, but New Leaf had an island where you just had a whole bunch of different mini games that were pretty enjoyable. I'd like something like that, and I feel like that's something you could implement kind of easily into New Horizons because it's an island. It's all island themed. The game.
Yeah.
There's the plane.
Yeah.
So just fly off to Tortimer's Island or
they've already done that, right? They've got. Is it Harold? Is that his name?
Harvey.
No, that's not
Harvey.
His name.
The photo.
Harvey.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
So you can just do more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Give me something like a Harvey Island, something to do like that. That's what I'd like to see.
So I as you're talking, I was definitely listening to you as well, but also thinking more about the cooking.
Yeah.
Right? You combine cooking with Brewster's Cafe, and hey, you've got another list of things to complete.
Yeah.
Brewster wants you to create meals
recipes.
for him.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'm down for that.
There you go.
I'm down for it.
There you go. That's the ultimate game of the aim of the cooking. Sure, you can eat them as well, like every other item that's edible in the game.
But a collection.
But you're creating them for Brewster.
Oh, that'd be good.
And it's in the museum.
Yeah, you have a place for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man, I want that.
Sorry if that never happens.
It's not gonna happen. Oh no. Gosh darn it, we're ruining Animal Crossing even more. Oh, that'd be cool. Well, yeah. Here, I'll do you one even better. So Brewster is largely associated with the gyroids. They're not New Horizons right now, but they're little.
Yeah, I have read up on them.
Yeah,
well, there's one.
Yeah, there is the one. But they're little. In game, what they do, they're decorative essentially, and they make little sounds, right? Brewster is in game; he is a fan of them, and I think in New Leaf he would be like a storage for them basically because there were so many of them.
Okay.
So what you do is you have cooking, and for each new recipe, he gives you a new kind of gyroid.
Nice. Now, don't you think that would be a huge update if they did all that?
I'd be super happy if they did that. I mean, they'd have to. Well, they don't have to, but I mean, for the situation we're proposing, they would have to. Oh, that would be so cool. Oh, darn it. I want this. I want to cook for Brewster and to get gyroids out of it.
That would definitely get me back into the game for at least a month.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'd be happy for a month doing that.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. Probably in not too long. But yeah, I think if we've not had a new feature released in 6 months or so, I don't think there are any big ones coming. But we'll see.
That's worrisome, but hopefully, right? I mean, they'll probably do some type of video during the anniversary. Not maybe, I don't know about in-game events, but I imagine.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's what they do then. Because I've always been thinking that the anniversary needs to be something, and I was thinking it would be an update with new features. Maybe it doesn't need to be that. Maybe it just needs to be announcements of future coming information.
That's how I think they'll do it. I don't think they're gonna do an anniversary update, just because I feel like they would have said something at this point. And like you said, the Mario update is March. It's in that month, right? That would be the time to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like we might have a Pokemon Day, if you will, where they, on the anniversary of Pokemon, they do a bunch of announcements. And maybe we'll have Animal Crossing Day, or just just a trailer drop saying, here's the thing that's coming later this year. That's my only hope. So, crossing fingers that we'll see Brewster in the near future.
That is a great point. Thank you very much, Kevin. Speaking of Pokemon Day, the next episode of The Greenhouse, our Patreon exclusive podcast, will be about our thoughts about what might happen on Pokemon Day, on the Pokemon 25th anniversary as a whole, what we hope for, what we think might happen. You can get that by subscribing to the podcast's Patreon, which you can find a link to from our website.
Yes.
Also,
it's a good one.
Also from our... it's going
to be a good one, I tell you.
Good. Yep. Also from our website, you can find links to multiple things, including our Twitter at THSPod, and a link to email us. Kevin, where can people find you on the internet?
I am mostly actively on the tweeters. My personal Twitter at KoopaPrez, or my art Twitter, where I do lots of pixel art and fun things like that, at Spriter Squared. I have actually been active again on there lately. Holidays slowed down for me art-wise, but I'm picking it up again, so go out there, check out some cool stuff I've been making.
Good stuff. You can find me on Twitter at TheScottBot. Scott has one T. And I think that's everything.
I guess so.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining me for this Animal Crossing update number 75.
Thank you for bringing me back on, especially after I scared everyone off with my 3-hour rant last time.
And we only mentioned the dumbing down of villages once.
Yeah,
so
we held back.
Thank you, listeners, for listening, for joining us for another episode. It was very good fun. And until next time, have a good
harvest. Yeah.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley, with support from our pro farmer level patrons, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening.
Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode. No, I'm starting again.
Rolling start. Are you familiar with that?
I don't normally start again if we do stuff, but that was literally the first sentence.
Or just leave it in as a tone setter.